excited. He gets shy. No, he doesn't want to hear it. Kid. No, how are you guys doing?
We're good. We're preparing for our June 12 production in SM Cebu.
So I can imagine busy kayo mo, sir.
Busy. So we have started our rehearsal last week. And then later also this afternoon, magpadayon hapon among rehearsal sa school.
Is it an original screenplay or you?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
you actually wrote this play.
Yes,
Wow.
I wrote the entire play. It's somewhat like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Really?
Grabe.
Yes, it's 2 acts by the
Okay.
way. So I would like also to commend my music composers,
Okay.
my music arrangers. We have Alexa Andrea Yap and John Pasana.
Okay.
No, kay grabe kay ilang help, ilang tabang sa musical. And with my lyrics and with their orchestration, with their music, melodies, grabe ang ilang pag-put up gyud sa musical. And we've been commended from the City of Cebu, the government, from Cebuano people nga katong nag-play me last year also.
And you also
So,
performed at the Gabi sa Kabilin
Yeah, we
recently lang,
performed
no?
sa Gabi sa Kabilin, sa Rafi, the Kabilin Center. And then we also had a performance sa 3 de Abril, no? Commemoration sa 3 de Abril Street.
So
Kana siya.
kani si Sir Langahid, Jiggy, he's really a theater guy. No? If I remember correctly, Sir Langahid, for the past years you've been in a lot of productions yourself. Nag-act
Yes.
pod ka. Namely,
I was part of Siddhartha the Musical. I was part of...
and you got to tour around, di ba?
Yes, to tour around the world also, luckily.
Was it Jude's? That's Jude's, right?
That's Jude
Sir
Gitamundok.
Jude
Yeah,
Gitamundok.
Sir Jude Gitamundok. And then we had a tour. And then I was also part of Abnoy Bidli. It's like a play about bullying. And we had also a participation sa a national conference, a national gathering of artists here in
So this is like an
Philippines.
it's like a biography story of Leon Kilat himself,
Yes,
right?
good.
In terms of the period, but what part of Leon Kilat's life did you write about? Asam na siya napita, like towards the end, from the beginning to the end,
From the binignit to the end. We never say begin, it's binignit here.
Actually, ang significance sa life ni Leon Kilat, amo ang gi-emphasize more on the transition of the Spanish period to the American period. So somewhat like ang iyang heroism before gyud siya namatay when he joined the Katipunan
Okay.
sa Cebu because he was the leader of Cebuman Katipuneros. So ang na-emphasize lang namo before sa Act 1 ang iyang mga happy moments like when he was a panadero, like a part of the bakery, a pharmacist, not really like a pharmacist, like trabaho lang yun sa butika, sa pharmacy. And then after that one, niadto siya Manila, he joined circus. Very colorful life ang life ni Leon Kilat.
Before he became a
Correct.
katipunero.
And then na-recruit siya sa circus, no, because ang owner sa circus kay Akatipunero in Manila.
Okay.
And that was under of Andres Bonifacio, somewhat like that. And then siya gipadala diri sa Cebu to lead the Cebuano Katipuneros. So somewhat like 1898, diha nahitabo, and then we had the Battle of 3 de Abril. And then
Okay, what was the information gathered through research, or did you like was there like a book that you sort of
like a one true source siguro, sir?
a book that you based your story from?
Basically got the information daghan sa book ni Emil. There's really a book, no, about Leon Kilat.
Okay.
And then we gathered also kanang sources from internet, even interviews from the descendants of Leon Kilat in Bacong Negros. So we really went there, good. Kay grabe kay naa ang iyang mga descendants pa, and hopefully if tagaan sa opportunity na maka-perform sa hometown mismo ni
That would
Leon
be
Kilat.
so nice.
So kani si Leon Kilat di ay dili din siya lumad nga
Dili gid
Subuanon di
siya
ay?
lumad nga
Okay.
Subuanon.
Taga-asam gini si Leon Kilat di ay?
Taga Bacong Negros.
Okay,
Kita,
okay.
dito siya. Doon sa Dumaguete.
Anong napadpad man siya diri sa Cebu?
Based from the research na,
Okay.
based lang yun sa mo. Murag, somewhat like ang Cebu Manggod is like the melting pot. Mura siya ganang the economic
Of all Visayas.
sa Visayas. Ari siya nanimpad based from our storyline. Nanimpad siya diri sa Cebu. Nya ganahan siya makighimamat og laing mga tao na maka And then after that one, wala lang siya damhang recruit na siya sa Katipunero o sa Katipunan, and then he joined one
It
of
changed his life
the
also.
historical event here in the country, here in Cebu, which is the Battle of 3 de Abril.
So Leon Kilat is his actual name, right?
No,
Okay.
it's the real name is Pantaleon Villegas, the family of the Villegas.
Okay, how did he get the sa moniker na siya
It's
angga na
a
niya?
moniker because daghan kaayong mga myth nga nag-circulate sa iyang name kay dili lagi siya mapatay because of his anting-anting. Unya paspas kay iyang lihok, somewhat like dili siya madutlan og bala. Unya kilat symbolizes like lightning, kanang paspas jud kay ang
Quick.
lihok unya.
Lightning
Mabuhig.
quick.
Yes. Kana mo ra siya the flash nga effect.
Filipino flash kind
the
of,
Filipino
yeah.
flash,
So-
pero with all the anting-anting.
Of all of the heroes of Cebu, of the Philippines, why did you decide to choose
Yeah.
Leon Kilat? Nganong si Leon
That is
Kilat
the
man gyud?
question.
Na may laing mga heroes po diya nga lain. Nganong si Leon Kilat
Sakto
man
gyud
gyud?
kayo, because we big actually when I wrote the Kilat Dulang Musikal, grabe jud kay kung murag somewhat like we patronize and we honor the Filipino heroes. No questions, no questions
Yeah.
about those heroes gyud nga naagi na contribute sa Philippines. With Andres Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio,
Gabriela
Apolinario
Silang,
Mabini, Gabriela Silang, kana we honor them good, pero dili kay nato or wa kay ta kaila sa mga local heroes.
Kana.
Which here sa Cebu, we have really heroes.
We have our own.
We have our own nga nag-contribute good og nagsakripisyo sa ilang kaugalingon. No?
That's true.
We get to understand these heroes from Manila. Murag somewhat like Manila-centric. Pero no, dili po mingon. Kaya naaman sad sila yung contribution. Pero we really need also to honor
Yeah.
ang atuang
I
yung
agree with that. Yes, sir.
hero here sa Cebu. Which of course, wala kaayo na hibaw-an sa karon nga generation. So that's really the point of the musical.
Yeah.
To
So,
educate.
actually, my question was, di ba, there's Lapu-Lapu, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
Out of all of the local heroes, nganong si Leon Kilat man gyud? I know nga murag sila Jose Rizal, kana sila mo gyud na sila pero himog salida, di ba?
Correct.
Ang mga movies silang
Salida, mo gyud na.
silang Gregorio
Del Pilar.
Goyo, di ba? So out of all, I'm curious ba nganong si Leon Kilat, Leon Kilat mo gyud? I know nga murag si Leon Kilat murag in terms of the hierarchy of
Yes.
popular heroes in Cebu, murag kaduha man ni
If you base it sa
si Leon
popular,
Kilat ni
Lapu-Lapu.
Lapu-Lapu, di ba? Murag
Yes.
Lapu-Lapu, Leon Kilat. What is it about Leon Kilat that fascinated you?
That's a very interesting question. Of course, you've mentioned already Lapu-Lapu. We have a lot of literatures already about Lapu-Lapu. So many performances of Lapu-Lapu during Kadaogan
yeah,
sa Mactan.
actually,
Correct, no? And then Leon Kilat, somewhat like, there's literature about Leon Kilat, pero kuhang kayo. So, when I had a tour of one of the hotels here in Cebu, showcased the life story of Leon Kilat, and I read those kind of information about Leon Kilat, anak ko nga, the life of Leon Kilat is very dramatic.
actually,
Very
kung murag sa
dramatic.
K-drama ba, daghan kay twist and turns,
Yes,
okay,
no?
different plots.
O yun, nakana jud ko nga, I think it is really the best timing
Yes.
bitaw nga. Dili kayo siya old, dili pod kayo siya present, pero still significant and relevant siya sa modern context.
Yeah, super important.
Which is the generations of today dapat makahibaw. So mao akong gipili siya kay I think kuwangan kay information good. The
Yeah.
main purpose good of Kilat Dulang Musikal is really to educate good the new generation that we have this hero
Yeah.
aside from Lapu-Lapu. Naa gyud pud ta. So that's the goal good to educate the Cebuano people and also with other Filipinos. And after that one, aside from educating, we need also to put entertainment to it.
Yeah.
That's
I like
why
how,
we put music,
exactly,
we put
dancing, exactly, sir.
acting, kana.
I like how you from the long time that I've known you, Sir Langahid, no. I like how you were able to really fuse your two passions. Kay kani siya, guys, if you didn't know, Sir Langahid is also a teacher at Sacred Heart School at Ateneo de Cebu. Na-under pod ko nimo for Filipino.
Igual na siya na kay ko.
Or not sa grabe, sir, no?
grabe ka.
For Filipino class, no? And I remember you're very passionate about education and making the youth aware of like our culture. Nagkanga ko sa mong subject before kay we have to speak Filipino, no, which I don't know if si Jaden makarelate. I really have a hard time. But aside from that, I've always known you as really the theater, the singing guy. Kung naay mga mga auditions sa Glee Club, Sir Langahid is one of the strict ay nga judges dito and mo support nato every time we would sing in school. So how does it feel, sir, to be able to fuse those two things, no, in your current state right now? Did you always think nga, like when you started teaching, I'm gonna be doing a play or I'm gonna be doing something related to music and arts? Or was it like when you got into teaching, the mo focus was just like what? Just to teach the Filipino subject?
Akong focus good is of course I graduated as Filipino major. And then somewhat like interconnectedness man gud ang Filipino to local heritage, to culture, to Filipino na mga factors, no? Local heritage, local culture. And then somewhat like ang pagka-teatro, I am a performer,
Yeah.
yun, no? Because I was part of a chorale group before during college. Somewhat like, and then after that one, I also joined theater group. And then, ano ko nga, if na ay possibility, if na ay opportunity, if I can, no, fuse, no, my passion in teaching and also my passion also in theater, in performing, why not, diba?
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful also of the school, which is, I would like to promote, no? Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu, no? Because Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu really opened a lot of opportunities sa ako as a teacher and as a theater director, as a performer also. They have been supporting me for how many years already. And then without them, dili sa gyud mo succeed ang Kilat Dulang Musikal.
Yeah, I can
without giving me a lecture, sir, like your students, why do you think it's important to learn our native tongue? Why is it important to learn Filipino?
Ang Bisaya.
In a nutshell, kay kadaghanan sa itong mga kaigsuunan mo, you know,
Ngano na padungog man kanako, Jiggy?
they don't really plan or they don't really have any murag passion to learn their native tongue. Siguro ilang ano na larga ra bitok ano maglisod-lisod man jud ko, di ba? Mo na ilang mga mentality ba. In fact, I have to admit, like some of my one of my kids actually think like that. Dad, what am I gonna do with Filipino? Unsa na nako, like I'm gonna leave abroad. This was a long time ago when he was a kid, and I actually also felt that. So unsa maday nganong importante man na imuhang mong subject nga Filipino, or in this case even Binisaya, nganong importante man na siya?
Ako lang siya tubagon sa ano siya nga, I think kita ra pud ang kinahanglang mo love sa ato ang own.
Yeah.
There's no other people nga mo love gyud sa ato ang own. Here in Cebu, we are speaking Bisaya. No, we are speaking Cebuano.
Usahay. Nagadamgo ako.
Usahay, pero very proud. The musical is written in Cebuano.
Okay.
Yeah. In Cebuano with mix of Spanish because of course there's Spanish settlement at that time, influence. Somewhat like ako gyud siyang giingon nga kinsay maghigugma sa ato ang kaugalingon natong pinulungan kundi kita ra gyud pod.
I love how he said that, kid. That's so true.
Kay kung ang other nationality will really speak, no, sa ilahang language, sa ilahang stinuryaan, of course they would really appreciate, no, ang ilahang own language. Pero sa ato ato lang gyud siyang i-neglect, perminti i-reject nato ang idea nga kinsa mag-patronize ta. There's nothing wrong about patronizing other, no? Pero kinahanglan higugmaon o kinahanglan natong i-acknowledge that we really have our own language, Bisaya. Unya, as a Filipino major also, mura bitog sa kadaghanang nang larga nga tanan nga mga ano, we are still here. We are the one who are still continuing the legacy, teaching Filipino and acknowledging that we have our own language. We have our own local language. I would like to emphasize that Cebuano Bisaya is not a dialect, but it's a language.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's kind of like what Jiggy would always say, when we'd promote music here sir, sa TMC. Jiggy would always tell guys, okay guys, kinsa naman di ay mo stream, ani, like who are going to be the people that are going to support our talents here? It's got to be us first, no? The support has to come from within first.
So higugmaon nato ang atong kaugalingon ng mga lengguwahe, including Binisaya, which is another language, versus Tagalog, which is another language, right?
Yes.
I'm not putting them against each other. I'm just pointing it out that they're different, right? So, nganong importante man na? Nganong higugmaon man nato? Nganong di ay pwede man ako higugmaon ang other entities, right? Nganong higugmaon man gyud nako ang ako ang lumad nga istoryahan nga Binisaya.
Because if we are going to forget these things, no? Mamatay siya og dili na siya continue for the next generation.
That's true.
We really need to study more of according to one of the El Filino. We have a lot of languages na here in the Philippines. We have a lot of languages all over the Philippines, from Luzon to Mindanao, no? Daghan na kaayong mga languages. Unya, somewhat like we cater, no, another language also from another parts of the world. There's nothing wrong about it. It's part of globalization, of modernization. Yes. Mamatay gud siya kung dili nato higugmaon o dili nato gamiton.
Okay,
and language is really evolving.
Correct,
no?
correct. It's always evolving, and to be able to understand our culture, to be able to understand who we are as a people, it's always nice to makasabot sa atong lingwahe, di ba? Ang atong native tongue, right? But that's a kind of a murag educational, cultural understanding of who we are. But how about utility? Like, ngano man di ay, kung pananglitan na nga, I hope not. Because that's what we're trying to do here in 105.1 TMC to make sure that this continues. Our culture and our part of it, of course, is language. Pananglitan lang, let's just say, for example, for the sake of this discussion, malimtan na to ang ato ang lingwahe, di ba? What does that mean? Like in terms of this unstoppable wheel we call progress, right? With all of these things that are happening in the world now. So what? If we forget our language, what happens to us if we just forget about it? Maun sa man today.
Cultural identity, language identity will be at stake. Mawagtang yun ang atong pagkakita.
Okay.
But we are all now beginning to become citizens of the world, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, di ba, ang mahitabuan ng in the future, they say it's homogenous, right? Everybody will look the same, everybody will talk the same, and so on and so forth. In fact, if you watch, we were talking about this a lot, if you watch futuristic movies, di ba?
It's like a uniformity.
Color, nagputi poros, the future looks homogeneous lagi. So what? Nganong dili na takabaw sa atoang lingwahe. Nganong di ay nga anyway, we're part of the progress of the world. We're all part of this thing they call globalization, di ba?
Yes.
So nganong di ko makalimot ko sa akong lingwahe. It's nice to know, but in terms of actual progress, does it actually contribute to actual progress?
It depends on what progress. How do you?
Let's just be honest. Economic progress.
Yes. Actually, of course, English is really the universal language that we have been using now.
Okay.
So, sa business, which is also the medium of instruction also.
Yeah.
Somewhat like we really need also to face the reality nga nag-diminish gyud ang pag-love gyud, no, sa ato ang Filipino language, even sa Cebuano Bisaya. But we really need also to understand that dili gyud kaayo naaragi normal or mga yanong mga Pilipino or mga Cebuano nga
that's still use.
Gigamit gyud gihapon.
Okay.
Dili gyud sa tanang panahon nga makasabot si yanong Pilipino sa katong the ideology of everything gani, the philosophical way of everything, no? Gigamit gyapon gyud siya sa inadlaw-adlaw nga panghitabo.
Okay, so that's a utility then for everyday life,
Yes,
for the normal Filipino,
for normal nga
for
Filipino,
the regular
sa mga
Cebuano, ginagamit gyud na siya.
Gigamit gyud siya. Ug mawagtang ni siya, tako jud kaayo siyang kakulangan gyud no sa ato ang sa ato ang pagka-identity, sa pagkakakilanlan in Filipino, pagkakakilanlan sa atong identity. So mawagtang gyud siya, it will really change the meaning of a Filipino and a Cebuano.
What it truly means. And I think Jiki always emphasizes that, but sometimes when we talk about, because we talk about everything and anything under the sun here at TMC, and we talk about progress a lot and globalization, and sometimes we always delve deeper to those questions. Where do we draw the line, bitaw? Where do we draw the line between wanting to follow, what everyone's doing in globalization, wanting to be a global citizen, but at the same time, keep your identity intact? It's very difficult, especially with the emergence of technology and different cultures, no? So I'm glad, sir, that you've come up with Leon Kilat, the musical, Dulang Musical, as a way to somehow combat that and remind people again. For me, this is how I see it. Art pieces like this, like what we're trying to do sa TMC, mga plays, this is a way of us cohiting people, but telling them, don't forget who you are. Don't forget who you are.
Cohiting
people.
Diba?
There's nothing wrong.
I feel so bad the way I say it. Really, it's obvious na gid na. You should cohit yourself, Christine. I'm the demographic that this kind of needs to know. No?
You might think I'm anti-Bisaya with the way I ask you the questions, but I'm actually just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I want to poke holes. Okay. I want to poke holes into kaning ako ang mga pagtuo through other people so that makabawas ko ba like exactly how this is going to go,
exactly,
and what the terrain is and what the potential atong mga challenges ng atong makitaan along the way, right? Because I think, of course, culture is not just language, right? Language
Correct,
is part of culture, although
Yes.
culture is a language is a huge part of culture, but that's not the only thing, right? In fact, kanang mga pagka-English na to, that's actually part of the Cebuano identity, di ba?
Yes, correct.
Manghambog kung kita permi nga maayo
We have
man-
good English,
They know,
yeah.
they know.
Imingon mo sila nga masikunog the lowest of us, so whatever that meant, kaning kibaw mo in English, di ba? So in fact, a lot of investors say nga they want to invest in the Philippines because sayon ra i-deal kay kibaw
May
tanan,
mata mong English.
kibaw mang in English tanan. But ang akong sunod nga pangutana siguro ani is nagingon sila kuno nga it's actually precisely why we do not actually speak and learn our language, our own language, ang Binisay o Tinagalog, ngano nga we don't progress as much as our neighbors in Asia. Let's just say Vietnam and other parts of Asia. I was listening to this economist. Ang ato kunong problema gyud is really our educational system because kuno ang atong gitudlo kuno sa atong mga bata kuno in English. Ang problema ng in English is ang imuhang grasp sa mga concepts and ideas is you're borrowing the Western culture. Kung gitudlo pa kuno nagbinisaya ang imuhang mga lessons, which is going to be that looks like a long-term project, right? Huno na araw na science o math ibinisaya. Pero ang grasp kuno nato sa concepts and ideas kuno dili kuno full kuno compared to other nations kuno. So mo na siya ang atong maayo ang atong pagkamaayo mo in English actually has become a disadvantage. What do you have to say about that, sir? Go ahead.
Grabe kining nga discussion no because we are talking about mother tongue, no?
Yeah, correct.
And of course no with the previous curriculum which is the incorporating with mother tongue curriculum, the MTB MLE. Grabe kina nga discussion, sir, no? Nga dapat. Pero again, there were so many factors nga
I-consider.
i-consider.
Of course, yeah.
So many discussions about it.
The short version. What's your short version of that discussion? the less nuanced. I know nga it's nuanced, but unsa man imuhang
there are really things.
Quick take, ana.
There are really things nga ma-explain gyud sa Binisaya, but we cannot really deny the fact nga naapoy mga butang nga mga mapamaagi nga dili gyud pud siya. Wala gyud mga termino sa Bisaya. So like for example, mga technical nga mga scientific na mga terms, mga technical na mga terms.
You can't translate it man
You
gyud.
really cannot translate man gyud. Pero ang pagpasabot pwede good siya i-discuss good siya og Binisaya, no? Because I think that's what we are doing. I think like the DepEd karon sa.
So do you think that pag ato ang pagmaayo mo in English is an advantage to us as a nation as opposed to speaking our native tongue? Has it become
there's an advantage and a disadvantage of speaking English.
Okay.
No?
Our global competitiveness, is it an advantage or a disadvantage? Because like I said, katong mga Japan, for example, they barely speak English, right? We teach Chinese how to speak English. A lot of Koreans go to Philippine Cebuano schools to learn English, right? So kita mga kuyaw kay may kita in English may, pero unsa man na, has it become an advantage to us? Are we better off economically compared to our friends in South Korea, in Japan, in other parts of Asia, or not?
Yeah, maybe there's a factor of it, but let me go back to the history of all these things. Again, nahitabo gyud siya because of the colonization of the Americans.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Mubalik gyud
We
ta, which
cannot
I
make-
think it's really cultural good. If we are going to transform and like reform education, it will be really a long
And I think
process.
it's
gyud.
also
But
very difficult to pit it against each other, no? But that's an interesting point. The fact that, even if we were the same as other countries in Asia, for example, nga, grabe kay nila gina-embrace ilang culture, we would really see a disparity in the economic status and all that. There's a difference. But I would still posit and I would still say that at the end of it all, regardless of that comparison sa economics, it doesn't take away the fact that knowing your identity as a Filipino is understanding how ngilngig we are. Like, there's so much beauty in our culture. There's so much beauty, in sharing that, no? Especially sa mga youth karon. So I think, regardless of, the disparity in this and that, this is something that is worthy to put out good nga.
And
gina-promote good nato.
And one of the easiest ways, and the best ways actually to let people understand about anything, we love to tell stories, right? We're storytelling species. The Homo sapiens got our success because we can agree with stories. And one of the stories that imuhang gi istorya is a story of this hero, Leon
Leon
Kilat,
Kilat.
right? In a nutshell, kuno, to somebody who has not heard of, but maybe heard of the street, but not the person. Kinsa mo gini si Leon Kilat ba?
Maybe we can have our main actor.
Oh, sige, si Leon
who
Kilat
does
himself.
play
Yes,
Leon
yes.
Kilat
Our
himself.
actor here, the lead actor, hapit ni sila birthday ni Leon Kilat kay July 27.
Oy.
Ang birthday kay
Reincarnated
July
eh.
26.
Kuya, wagod, okay.
Yeah, pag tandi-tandi na mo sa picture sa internet, sa historical, murag pareho yun sila.
Sila
Ladies and gentlemen, the lead actor, we have here Zandro Garay.
Hi, Zandro.
Zandro, maing bungkag ni mo dia, Zandro.
Maing bungkag.
Before you introduce Leon Kilat, introduce yourself first. Kinsa man si Zandro?
Yeah, Zandro.
Well,
Close to the microphone, please.
I'm
Thank you.
18 years old.
Oh,
I'm,
okay.
I don't know. I'm the main actor of Kilat, I guess.
Okay.
And
And you're also from Bohol, right?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
So kinsa man si Leon Kilat? What based on your studies, based on because you have to play a role, right? So you have to understand and embody
Yeah.
Leon Kilat. So unsa may imong nahibawan kinsa mo gini si Leon Kilat ba?
from how I've acted and have understood the character,
Okay.
he's just a guy looking for opportunities.
Okay.
Like one of the reasons why he went to Cebu is that he wanted to find a job.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
He wanted to provide for his family. He wanted to he wanted to find himself,
Okay.
really.
Mm,
Okay.
And
Existential in yung reason eh, find
yeah,
himself.
I think so.
Okay.
Like that's how I see the character at
Oh.
least.
Okay. That's your depiction of Leon Kilat. No?
And then
What about in him joining the Katipunan?
I think that's one of the things that made him realize, oh, this is my calling. Because like in the script, like how Sir wrote it, it made it seem that way.
Mm.
And yeah, I think that's, I don't know. That's
Do
how
you
I see
feel like there's a lot of pressure playing the role of a hero at 18 years old, no? Kani si Leon Kilat, how old was he in your story, sir? Mga, kani nga age po?
Yeah.
26. Oh my goodness. Okay. He died at 26, no? Pero, you know, youth pagid siya, no? Pero how does it feel, Zandro? You're playing a role of a young hero. Did you feel pressured at any point?
Yeah, of course. It was definitely pressuring. Not only like the acting part, but like fully knowing that you're basically reincarnating someone else.
Mirroring their life, ganyan.
Yeah.
So who's Leon Kilat in terms of yang demeanor? Like was he like a happy-go-lucky
Bitaw,
guy?
how does he act?
Describe to us Leon Kilat. What was his character? Real life
How
character.
would you describe his character?
Because you're trying to embody it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Based
know,
on your studies.
I kind of put myself into it. Not really
Okay.
like it's how I envision the character. So I put myself, but it's not really him. I tried my best. But
Okay.
how I see Leon Kilat is that
Mm-mm.
before like everything, before him joining the Katipunan, you just what word can I use? I don't know.
Pwede sa Binisaya.
Like, unaning kamot ra siya for
Yeah,
himself,
yeah,
no?
yeah.
He's like, kanang more ambitious siguro.
Okay, batanon pa man siya. So I can imagine him
Yeah.
being like
Coming to the
He
big city.
didn't have like a straightforward plan.
he was
He's just- yeah.
okay.
I think he'd be like this really. What's the word that we always use?
Like a chill guy.
No, like spontaneous person.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he went to Cebu spontaneously and then napadpad mo siya sa Manila, and then what do you think happened to him, like in terms of who you think he is? Was that a kind of calling for him nga mo join sa Katipunero? Was he always like a joiner, like na yung mga grupo din mapil-apil siya unsa man na siya nganong Katipunero gyud hardcore man kay na siya nga grupo?
I
Bitaw.
honestly don't know.
Oh.
Like
The history of it, no?
Okay.
Okay.
Presented. No, based from the research, no, murag somewhat like the injustices at that time during the Spanish time, murag naapag yun, land grabbing.
Okay.
Uso man
That's
kayo
number
ng
one.
land grabbing sa una. No, kanang sa panahon sa mga Kastila ka.
Bitaw, no?
Kanang kung wala tagian ni kay kuhaon
Fine.
man gyud sa simbahan. Ano? Mao man dyan na siya niya. You know, with ang women nga mga violence at that time, kay grabe pa kaayo, women abuses niya. Polo is servisyo, which of course forced labor, kanang patrabahoon sa fort, patrabahoon sa simbahan nga walay sweldo, ginagmay ra taas nga taripa. So somewhat like ang nagpa-join niya sa Katipunan. Yeah, when he joined the circus in Manila, which ang circus was owned by a Katipunero, i-present niya nga as in, ganahan ka mo. Kung ano. Somewhat like, there's no really a historical record like the verbatim mga conversation about those
But more or
things.
less, those
Pero
are the
somewhat
turn
like,
of events,
yeah,
no?
the turn of events.
Okay,
No, nga.
okay.
Murag, that's what I presented sa play. Like presenting mga injustices, presenting mga abuses. Kunya, murag somewhat like, it's like, yes, like, it's like a piling of injustices,
Murag,
abuses.
ano na siya, he's been fed up, no?
Yeah,
I think
something
ba,
like
as an artist or as a director, as an actor, you always have to strike a balance between unsay factual and at the same time how you can put your own creative
creativity.
spin on it,
Correct.
no? So, like for Zandro, for example, as an actor, I can understand there might be a difficulty like trying to understand who is Leon Kilat Manggide and how can I put my own flavor as like who I am into the character. So my question is, do you think that you have similarities with Leon Kilat, or what are the similarities of who you are as a person and Leon Kilat? Kay teenager, young adult man sad ni siya. No? And then he came to Cebu. I understand you're from Bohol also, and you came to Cebu. So maybe we can start with that.
Maybe at 26, you're gonna start a revolution of sorts also.
So what are your similarities with Leon Kilat as your character?
I think mostly about the spontaneous thing too. It's like also not having like something to have like a straightforward
Plan?
Plan in life.
Okay.
Like,
but I assume generally you have a plan, no? Like of course
Me?
with school and everything
Yeah.
else, no? Pero maybe like Leon Kilat karon unsa man gid ay imong like your attributes that you think are kind of similar with him aside from being spontaneous.
Damn, that's
Big
a
bake
good
sad ka
question.
bread. Are you kanang di ba si panadero man ni si Leon Kilat? Are you do you bake bread also, no, or something like that, no? Or basi mag-work na siya sa pharmacy, no? Or as Jiggy said, in 2016 mo simba ko basin mag ano.
Anong simba ko man?
Because that would mean that there are injustices nga.
Well, just say there's always injustices. Always.
Oh, yeah.
Injustice never stops, right?
Yeah, that's true. Pero that would mean that na fed up na it became so bad.
Yeah,
Na.
yeah.
Well, if ever that happens, simba ko, kami ni Jiggy ang nasa inyong front line.
Yeah.
Kami yung una.
Yeah. So the event is happening when and where, and if I want to get tickets, where can they get them? And this is only like one time only. Is there like a matinee show, and then is it more than one show? What? Go ahead, sir.
We are inviting everybody. This coming June 12, 2025.
Independence Day.
Yeah. SM Cebu
Okay.
invited us to perform at SM Cebu, North Atrium or North Wing. We are still finalizing.
So not in the theater, not in the cinema.
Not in the theater. It's an open space.
Wow,
And it's,
okay.
It's libre ra gyud.
Wow.
So we are
Okay.
performing some excerpts of some scenes.
Okay.
So we are.
So not the whole
performing-
thing?
Not the whole thing, but we are
Okay.
performing the songs, the iconic songs.
Okay.
Of the play, and with with movements.
So teaser ni siya, sir. Maholo.
Teaser, somewhat like mga post-prod because we had our major prod naman last year.
Okay.
We
How was it received, by the way? Katong imong last year nga
It was
Leon Kilat.
an overwhelming support.
How long was the is the play?
So we had our during our first run, April 4, 5, 6, at our school, Virginia Chongbian Theater, we had 9 shows.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then we
grabe.
had it.
You saw it?
I saw it. I
Okay,
saw
okay.
it.
Then-
Kami mga teachers, we had free access.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Cebu City invited us to perform in SMC side, the center stage, during August. Somewhat like because Cebu is celebrating every August, no, the Cebu Arts Month. So we showcased also the show there. We had 6 shows, 2 days. No, and we invited public schools. No, we invited public schools from Apas National High School. We had from Labangon. I'm not sure. It's a science high school. And then grabe, somewhat like ang response sa mga students gid somewhat like, sir, nagpuyo man ko sa may 3 de Abril State pero wa po ko kay kaila ni Leon Kilat. Na ako dapit sa monument. Pero wa mi kaila kinsa na siya nga statue.
Yes, super.
So after the watching the play, somewhat like naka-feel sila og relevance bitaw nga dapat proud ko nga na ako diri sa
It's
Cebu.
not just a street to
Yeah,
me.
it's-
Pero ikaw,
yes.
Zandro, kaila ka na nga street, that 3 de Abril
Yeah,
Street.
yeah.
Okay.
Definitely
Prior to the
not
play.
because-
Prior to the play.
Sure.
So we're guilty. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad. Kaya ako po, to be honest, sir, to be
Me
honest.
too also. As the playwright and the director before reading the entire history of
Where
Leon
di
Kilat.
kahit
Somewhat like,
knowledgeable.
okay, the street, Tres de Abril Street, the T. Padilla Street, the C. Padilla Street. Somewhat, okay, they're naara na sila
there,
Leon Kilat.
but
They're
we don't
there.
know what they're
Pero
for,
I
no?
don't know, the significance, the real
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
story behind those streets bitaw.
Yeah.
Anak ko nga, okay. Pero pagkabasa na ko, that's why.
Yeah, for our future driver kani si Jaden maghiskot man gid ni siya nga ganahan magid siya mag-drive no before me. So she's were you familiar with those streets kanang mga Tres de Abril nini? Like have you known about Leon Kalat before the play?
No, actually
I'm older
no.
than her, but I didn't know.
I had no idea. But funny story, after watching the play, because I watched all shows, man. After watching Pags,
Revo
April,
responders.
yeah, as Revo, as backup for Revo. And then after seeing the show in August, we went to Manila in September. And the area we stayed in BGC there was a big statue of Leon Kilat, no?
BGC.
I know. No, Juk, not wait.
No,
wait,
it's not
wait,
Leon
wait.
Kilat.
Shh, not the statue maybe, but it said like Leon Kilat something.
In BGC.
Yeah.
Okay.
In like BGC nga area by the condo that we stayed in. So I was really like, oh, look, it's Leon Kilat.
I like that because mostly here in Cebu, we would see mga plaques, mga statue, mga Jose Rizal.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
It's like it's our turn ba nga ang Bisayan
Yeah.
nga hero, no? Gina honor also in that place.
You mentioned that this is a musical, right? So, do you have like do we have copies of their songs? No.
We do. It's all
Okay.
actually on YouTube also.
Okay.
No, we can. What can we search up, sir, if we want to listen to all the songs
You can
on
search
YouTube?
Kilat Dulang Musikal.
Okay.
Kilat Dulang Musikal playlist. So there's
Is
we
that-
released 13 songs. With the help of our arranger, and it's not that
Yes.
budgeted good that we really like produced with all the budget but I'm very proud of the team that we've come up with the playlist, with the official soundtrack. Somewhat like these are the songs that we really want to keep bitaw. Nga our remembrance also of the musical.
Of the musical. By the way, we also had Jiggy, one of the producers. Well, the producer good for this song, no, si JB Pasana.
Yes.
He was here sa TMC a couple months ago also.
Yeah.
So it's
shout
very
out.
it's very full circle na everyone knows everyone ragi diri sa Cebu, no,
Yeah.
ang mga performers. So it's important that we do support each other.
Our hit song is really the Pandisuelo.
Pandesuelo. Okay.
And also there's yeah.
So it's in the soundtrack nga playlist. Kana siya nga sound. Yeah, Pandesuelo. Yeah.
That's really our hit song. Yeah. When we released that one, somewhat like people are really recognizing that's really from the Kilat Dulang Musikal play.
You know what?
So-
I feel like throughout this interview we've tackled a lot about history, about the musical in itself, and a lot of people will be able to witness that anyway. On June 12 on Independence Day, no. But before we quickly end and promote again the show, I'd just like to ask some personal questions because that's also what we're here for, like getting to know you personally. So ikaw, Sir Tig, ano manggid ka? You're a theater guy, and you've always known nga somehow it would be nice for you to fuse love for theater, love for music, and educating people about
Yes.
our history. Pero for Zandro, were you always a theater guy? Before?
Yeah,
Theater guy
I'd
gid
say
ka?
so. No, I've been in a play
Okay.
before grade 7. I think I remember.
Okay. What's siya nga play?
It was a play about dead stars. It's like a love story of
Okay. So really
Yeah.
not Filipino related.
yeah,
no?
not Filipino.
So what drew you to audition for this? I can imagine you must, students,
That's a
ang
funny
focus sa
story.
mga students kay mga, just to pass their grades, ideally. No, but for you to join this extracurricular activity that beat you up for several months, you're practicing day and night. Karon this week you'll be practicing for performance. Like, why did you want to put yourself through this chaos, of promoting such a hero and joining a play like this?
Because when I auditioned, I didn't know I was gonna get that role. No, they didn't say na.
They just said audition in
They
general.
just audition in general.
Okay. Pero ganun ganahan man ka mo audition for this play in school.
It looked interesting at first, and all my friends, shout out Steven, RV, Zach, they wanted to audition, but they would only audition if I did, so I just pulled them in.
So
and then,
nag-group audition di ay mo, no? And that's always
You
the
remember?
story for a lot of actors, no? Kanang work, they audition for something and they didn't expect to get the lead role, and then they always end up getting the lead role. So I'm glad, no, that what a turn of events. You wanted to just audition with your friends and you ended up getting the lead role. Kanisha, it's become a very big production, so big that in fact we're gonna be having a couple excerpts performed on June 12 at SM Cebu for Independence Day 2. 2 p.m., no? At the
So this is a
North
free
Atrium.
event, right?
It's a free.
Okay, and ang nakita niya nakita si Justin and si
Jaden has
Jaden.
seen it, yeah.
You've seen the full play, right? Jaden, tell us, give us your honest review on the air.
Alala.
Like-
We have
like-
the director, the actor here.
Unsa may imuhang nag-get ato nga stage play. How long ago was this? Last year?
Yeah, this was the first time I saw it. It was in April, the first show.
So where was this shown?
It was at the Virginia Chongbian Theater at
Okay.
Sacred Art School.
Tell
Ateneo.
us about it. Go ahead.
So to be honest, I was under a lot of pressure because at that time,
Pressure to watch? What do you mean?
to be
were you part of
Revo
it?
responder.
Okay.
Because at that time we had for all the shows that we have medical backup for, we're supposed to be attentive. We're supposed to not watch the show.
Okay.
We're
Be
supposed to
alert.
look at the audience and be alert, right? That was so hard for me because the show was so nice that I kept getting distracted while I was on duty.
Okay.
So I remember at that time I knew some of my friends were in the play as well. And I was like, damn, I didn't know this person could act like that. I didn't know this person could act like that. And for Zandro's case, I also didn't know Zandro could act like that. So I was like, oh, like that's just so, yeah. Good job.
Yeah, good job.
Good job.
You think you know somebody, right?
Yeah, exactly my
In the
point.
musical.
Yeah. And then after that, like the songs were so catchy.
Grabe bitaw.
But then here's the interesting part was from the April show compared to the August show, I really saw how the songs improved. They changed the arrangement. They added like Intayo na, the halftime after. Oh, I really ate that up.
So is that gonna be a thing, sir, for the upcoming performance sa SM City? Only a few the mga sikat nga songs from Kilat ang Dulang Musical. Did you change something up before the ano? Do we have mga kanang mga Easter eggs nga we should expect?
Not really yet like big change good, but there are really scenes nga kanang we
Improvements.
cut improvements lang.
Okay.
Pero we will be following the arrangement sa SMC side na arrangement because that was really the enhanced
Version.
the enhanced version of the musical, of the arrangement orchestration. Because somewhat like after the April run, somewhat like there were comments na I think we're acknowledging the comments, the feedback. Na, I think we can improve this, blah blah blah. Yeah, I think. And then pag SMC side,
All
dindot
the
na
more
kayo,
you
all
took
the
in their
more.
comments.
Yeah,
So
it was
for
very
those who
nice
would
na.
like to see your upcoming activities, sir, where can they find you? Especially because you mentioned nga hopefully mag-tour mo ani nga.
Maybe you're going to have a full play na pod sa
Hopefully.
Leon Kilat.
Yeah, hopefully,
Kilat
but
Dulang Musical, the untold story of Leon Kilat, a Visayan Katipunero.
Yeah,
Do you have is that in the
works?
In the works? Do you have any plans? I mean, like
so far for now,
Okay.
we are not ano pa man. We have not
you're not ready also to do it anytime
Yeah.
soon.
Our lead actors also, I think, I'm not sure if
Hala.
he can still perform, no, because
Hala.
mag-college naman siya. But yeah, but we're open to possibilities.
Who are the other cast members aside from Zandro here?
We have Zandro, mostly students. We have also teachers. We have parents also
Oh.
Okay.
in school. So it's really open to the school community.
Okay.
And yeah.
You know, in the age of Netflix, ba, do you have any plans to make it into an actual full-fledged
no.
film?
Actually, I think there's another group. They're planning to have it like in like a movie bitaw.
Okay,
They're planning
okay.
to make a movie. And then I think they also communicated with me regarding the material. But again, theater material is really different from a movie material.
Yeah.
No?
You know, speaking of
It's
theater, but
musical.
just yesterday, what was it the other day? I think CNN covered live the Good Night and Good Luck stage play on Broadway, starring George Clooney. I don't know if you saw that. It was huge. Nga cover nila on CNN. The final play of Goodbye and Good Night. The reason for that, I think they felt like kana magong concepts like, you know, it's not a concept, it's actually a truth. Integrity and honesty and truth is being under attack in the United States, they feel like. So they really showed that to show people. There was a time back in the day, we had like people on television that had honesty and integrity and all of that stuff. Akong pangutana siguro ani is what
values?
when you showed this last year and when you were going to show excerpts of it this June 12th, what do you think should what's the biggest lesson that they can learn from Leon Kilat?
What are
Everyone,
values?
what are the values that they can learn from him upon watching this stage play?
For me, I think the core of it, it's really the pride of the Philippines. It's really the pride of the Philippines. Because, of all the heroes that contributed here in the Philippines, we need also to acknowledge, again, as what I've mentioned earlier, here in Cebu, we have Leon Kilat. We have Lapu-Lapu. We have Leon Kilat. We have more pa jud, which I think wala pa gani kahibaw po ang uban. There are so many street names nga wala pa ta nakahibaw.
Yeah.
I don't have any plans although to create like every,
It would be nice if you made another version for the others, but no other.
Pero I don't know if you're familiar also with General Maxilom in Maxilom Mango Avenue. He really also contributed during the American period.
Come on, sir, make another one.
So yeah.
How about General Mango Avenue?
Si Mango Avenue. Mango.
I'm just kidding. So
So
General
it's really the pride of the Filipino.
See, General Maximum is also one of those, like Leon
One
Kilat.
of the Katipuners under of Leon Kilat. Pero namatay man si gipatay man si Leon Kilat sa Karkar,
Okay.
betrayed by his own comrades. No?
Okay.
So, somewhat like Maxilom ang nagpadayon niya, katag-katag na ang Katipunero, ang mga Katipunan here sa Cebu. Yeah, somewhat like the spirit of the Katipunan was still there ba. So, murag ipadayon niya. Nasa siya contribution. That's why General Maxilom, the general sa siya. And then during the Spanish.
So we were about to play a song from Kilat Dulang Musical. Musical?
Musical. It's the Bisaya of the musical.
Ang spelling na may K po.
Yes.
The Untold Story of Leon Kilat, a Visayan Katipunero. We're about to play the song. What is it? The
Pandisuelo.
Pandisuelo.
Tell us about it. Like set this up. Who's in the vocals? Who sang it? And then what is this? I know that Leon Kilat was a panidero. What is this about? Go ahead.
Pandisuelo is a song about Leon Kilat nga naa sa bakery. No? Nagtrabaho siya sa bakery.
Okay.
Somewhat like na a fun part nga mga pandisal ang iyang abs, something like that.
Mo nang lyrics.
Somewhat like lyrics, something like. But it's really a fun part of the play.
Ikaw ning right, ani sir.
Yes.
So I think you're making it you're making an effort to make the story of Leon Kilat more accessible, right?
Yes.
Relatable,
right?
Relatable
Okay.
to the new generation.
Okay.
Dili kayo siya sa boring kay history is so boring. Pero when we put
History is so
Why
boring.
do you think history is boring?
no, somewhat like during my elementary years,
Okay.
memorizing dates, memorizing names.
You mean learning history
History
is
is
boring?
Yeah, I mean,
But-
learning history,
Okay.
somewhat like before, but
Yeah.
now
but like
Guilty ko na, Jiggy.
we actually live in such a safe society now that the dangers that are
Correct.
lurking in the past was probably 10 times 100 times more dangerous to go
then now-
place to live in. So it must have been pretty exciting, right?
yes, yeah, mo to nga, ano ko nga, we really need to incorporate music. We really need to put fun part
Yeah.
because we
Kung-
really
kung
need
wala-
to put relatability sa piece, sa material
Okay.
itself para ma-acknowledge siya sa new generation nga, it's fun.
Okay, here it is now. Can you say vocalist on this, sir?
Of course.
Yeah,
Zandro.
Featuring Xander's voice.
Okay, this is written by.
I wrote it and then with the composition of Alexa Yap and the arrangement of John
Jeez.
Pasana.
Okay, here it is now. This one is a song, an excerpt, actually the full song of Pandisuelo from the Kilat Dulang Musikal, The Untold Story of Leon Kilat, a Visayan Katipunero. Let's listen to this.
Sugdan ta kining trabaho, isip usa ka panadero, among ihalad init nga pandes
TMC Pandisuelo from the Kilat Dulang Musikal, The Untold Story of Leon Kilat, a Visayan Katipunero. That was amazing. Congratulations and thank you so much. We have live in the studios of 105.1 TMC, just in case you just got here, we actually have the artist of that song, si Zandro mismo, and the composer, the writer of that song.
Yes, direct Mark or Makoy Langahid, the playwright and director of Kilat Dulang Musikal. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to catch them perform that song live and other songs from the musical, head on to, or head out. How do you say it? Head out. Go to SM Cebu for Independence Day. That's
Both
June
are actually
12.
correct.
Correct, ba? Okay. Go to SM Cebu for Independence Day. That's at 2 p.m. North Atrium or the North Wing. You can also follow their Instagram and FB page. That's Kilat Dulang Musical. Once again, thank you so much, Zandro and Direk Makoy Langahid. Thank you.
And I hope that you know, this movie, this stage play, the at least fractions of it, will make you love our country even more, right? Because I think that's the goal, right? Right?
Ideally. That's what we're going for.
And if they want to know more about both of you, where can they catch you on the socials? Go ahead.
Akanisto Langahid sa TikTok.
Well, you can follow, by FB, Makoy Lozano Langahid. I also have Instagram and TikTok. Pero
Lingaw ba yun yung mga vlog sa TikTok?
I do vlog
mga
also.
trending niya.
Do you followers?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a stage play coming up soon? You have anything happening this year or next year? What? Go ahead.
I'm finalizing and reviewing my previous script, Kampilan. It's also a historical play. It's a Lapu-Lapu, a love triangle of Lapu-Lapu, Bayani, and Raha Humabon. It's a fictional,
Fictional.
fictional love story, but somewhat like we incorporated the historical.
Wow.
It's a deconstruction of Potenciano Cañizares one-act play sa Dulaang Cebuano.
Okay.
It's a deconstruction and
So,
I made more.
When is this?
Maybe, well, we can't
It's in the works pa. It's in the works pa.
But
But
you
that's something
But
we have to look for.
hopefully we can
after.
perform it sa 505th anniversary of Christianity and the arrival of
When
which
is this? What year is
next
that?
week. Next week? Next year.
Next year. Next week. Sir, dalian na yung script, sir. Kay next week.
Namatanda pa ko kano sa mahuman. Next week na.
Next year.
Next year pa rin. Okay,
So
so
that's something to look forward
Yeah.
to, no?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Zandro?
How about you, Zandro?
Where can they find you? Do you have any TikTok or Instagram or whatnot? Go ahead.
Music.
Not really, just Instagram. You can just follow me on Zandro Garay.
Okay. And hopefully Zandro will be making music as well, no? That will be playing here sa TMC.
Yeah,
Balik niya.
Yeah, he has so many songs.
He has so many songs on YouTube sa kaning musical soundtrack.
Yeah. And
Okay.
speaking of musical, can you set up this next song, Justin? Go ahead.
Okay, so the next song that we're about to play
Okay.
is...
Is this true? Is this correct? Sakto ba ni siya? Nindot kayo ni paminong tinuod ni siya?
I think maybe it might be too good to be true.
Oh.
This is Too Good to Be True by Jaden Narvis. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Top of the morning.
She's actually
and see
here.
you soon.
Jaden, go ahead and invite everybody to your socials. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, you can listen to Too Good to Be True on all digital streaming platforms, and you can follow me at Jaden Narvias on Instagram and Facebook.
Thank God you reminded me also, JG.
Go ahead.
She also has a news article out
Oh.
sa Sunstar.
News article.
It's released sa ilahang online and it's also sa physical copies. I don't know if that's yesterday or today. So to feature the song. So thank you,
Yeah,
Sunstar.
go and check it out. Thank you, Sunstar.
Yeah.
Sino nag-yo-yo niya? Ikaw na ang yo-yo?
That's me.
Sige, yo-yo-yo-yo eh. Nag-recording na si Jaden.